What up? It's your boy Wall Street, here to talk to you all, my favorite group of people, about hoops, one of my favorite things in the world. What a coincidence. So, I want to talk about my guy, Kyle Kuzma, because I've been hearing a lot of talk that he's going to get traded, which seems a little more likely, especially with the emergence of Keyshawn George. Not that Keyshawn George is, playing out of this world, but it seems like the Wizards like rocking this really young starting lineup that is comprised of mainly the three rookies that they drafted in this past year's draft: Alex Sarr, Keyshawn George, and Bub Carrington. So, obviously, when Kyle Kuzma comes back from injury, he's missed the last 5 games with a groin injury. When he comes back from injury, he's probably going to be reinserted into that starting lineup. So I would imagine Keyshawn George is probably going to go to the bench. But it makes me think that since they're basically, they're not playing great. They're 2-6 right now. We just got our literal asses handed to us by the Orlando Magic. And the Orlando Magic did not have Paolo Banchero. So we really just got served, and was not a pleasant sight to see. Bilal had a couple of nice plays. Love seeing him play. He's been playing real well, but that's another point. Bilal Coulibaly's been playing out of his mind, and it's been real exciting to watch. But obviously, if Bilal's taking up a lot of the shots, Jordan Poole's obviously shown himself to be an improved player this year, both offensively and defensively. So I don't really know where Kyle Kuzma is going to get the same amount of touches that he was getting last season, because last season they really went through Kuzma over Poole, and it seems like now they're trying to go with Poole. And Kuzma's looked awful this year so far, and he's shooting like nearly 6 attempts on like 18 shots. He's not shooting very well at all, and he's only played 3 games, so very small sample size. But he's shooting 32.7% from the field, 27.8% from 3, and it's just looked really bad. Like, even since the start of the preseason, my guy has just been airballing. It looks like he hasn't picked up a basketball since last season ended, and we all know the Wizards were not good last season. That's why we had the number 2 overall pick. So that's a long time to go without touching a basketball, from April to October, or let's say September, because of training camp and all that. But you get my drift. Like, it's just, it hasn't looked good. So I'm not really knowing what to expect when he comes back and when he's going to come back. I'm recording this right now. We just lost to the Magic. We have Houston tomorrow, and then we have San Antonio on Wednesday. So I would say probably at the earliest he's coming back Wednesday, which I think is like the 13th, November 13th, against the Spurs. That's probably the earliest, but I really do think he's probably going to get traded. And there was that whole situation last year where it was like, they traded Daniel Gafford to the Mavs, and then Kyle Kuzma, or some story came out about Kyle Kuzma, was offered a trade to the Mavericks by the Wizards, and he was like, nah, I want to stay here, which I appreciate, because not a lot of people ride for DC, and I with that vision, Kuz, but it's just like, I don't know if he really is about that. He said they wanted to be here for the long haul, and like, we're building something good in Washington, which I agree with, obviously, and I just don't know if he's going to make it. It might not be up to him on some level. Like, if we can get a first-round pick or 2 first-round picks for Kuzma, like, he's gone. He's gone. Will Dawkins is doing that in a heartbeat. And I do like Kuzma. So I'm not, like, in a rush to be like, yo, trade this guy. But I've heard a lot of talk about him possibly getting dealt to the Lakers. The Lakers have had interest in him for, it seems like, the past year now. But I don't know who the Lakers are trading to get Kyle Kuzma. We obviously want a first-round pick, especially if it's a non-lottery team. Like, you absolutely have to give up a first-round pick, at least, unprotected. And I'd say give us Jackson Hayes or Yeah, Jackson Hayes. I don't really want Cam Reddish. Like, Cam Reddish is nice, don't get me wrong, but like, what is he really? He's going to be in the same situation that Kyle Kuzma is on this team, where it's like he's going to be one of the better players, but he's going to be expected to like step aside for the rookies. So I don't really know if that makes a lot of sense for Cam Reddish. But like, if you send us Max Christie, like Kyle Kuzma for Max Christie in a second rounder, I'd do that. I'd probably do that. But that's probably not the best value they can get for Kuzma. So I'm like, why would you even do that trade in the first place? Even though Max Christie is a hell of a player. I think he's really good. He just doesn't get a ton of run on the Lakers, and like he's not gonna get a lot of shine with them being like playoff team. But Max Christie plays with heart. I respect dude a lot. But yeah, I don't know. And like, what are you gonna trade Kuzma for Roy and then send Roy back to DC? Like that doesn't make any sense either. I think they would want Kuzma on the Lakers to be the starter over Roy, because Roy has kind of just historically played better off the bench. So I don't know, but it seems like it could be cool to get a first round pick in return, because like I would like to see Keyshawn George, continue in the starting lineup. He plays with a lot of energy. I feel like it's just good to get some confidence into these young guys and get ready, for next season, because we're 2-6, and like I'm not saying the season's over, but like season was kind of over before it even started, because like we knew like the Wizards weren't gonna really like make the playoffs, and like if they even made a push to, like, they're not winning the championship. It's pretty obvious. They're in a rebuild type of situation. So it's like, get your young guys as much run as possible, as many minutes as possible, get them in as many different situations in the league as possible as you can, so that they're just experienced and they're moving ahead of their trajectory, as if they were gonna like or compared to, I should say, them coming off the bench every game and like doing all that. You need vets on your team, obviously, but like I think you gotta keep Jonas Valanciunas too. Heard stuff about him maybe going to the Lakers, and I'm like, nah, we gotta keep JB. Guys all time. But there's probably some other trade potential on the Wizards. I mean, like, I'm gonna be frank with you, no Sinatra. Like, Johnny Davis has got to go. I've really been trying to root for the guy, and I just don't know what to do anymore. Like, I thought maybe, okay, like, Brian Keefe is playing him a little bit more. Maybe, like, his niche will be defense. Like, he's not a good defender either, really. And I want the guy to succeed. I really do. But, like, I just don't know if it's going to happen. At least with the Wizards, it just doesn't seem like it's going to work out. So, I don't know. If you can get something for Johnny Davis, like, guy's still young, on a rookie deal still. So, I think he's got 1 year left after this. So, if you can dish him, get a second round pick, I'm all for it. Love you, Johnny, but like it's not working for me. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Kyle Kuzma is going to be on a different team, in the next couple of months? Do you think we're going to see him get dealt before or on the NBA trade deadline? Do you think there's someone else on the Wizards who might be featured in that trade deadline madness that we see, in February every year? I want to know. Let's talk. So, as always, if you like the video, give me a like, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and leave some comments down below. If you did not like the video, give me a thumbs down and let me know how you really feel. Tell me why. I'll catch you guys with the next one. Peace.